So I just came back from PetSmart and I went there to get some API General Cure in ghost shrimp, but they didn't have the ghost shrimp that I wanted. Got the General Cure though, and I also found some sponges to put on the intake of my filter that I have. One thing they did have though was some very, very nice looking anubias pre-attached to a rock. This doesn't look like a real rock, kind of looks like a fake one, but I think it should be fine. It's got some green wire that's used to hold it into place, and the leaves all look fairly nice except for about one right there. I'm just gonna gently lower this into Aurora's tank. I'm going to try and place it so it's kind of off to the side. Trying to draw a bit of attention away from the filter. So I'm going to mess around with this for just a few moments and then I'm going to show you guys how it looks. Okay, so I just removed a decoration I had right here. It was kind of like a tube that was supposed to look like driftwood. It had some plants growing on it. I wasn't a huge fan of it. Stuff kept getting stuck on it like this every time I messed around with the tank. Excuse me. One of these leaves would then get stuck up under the fake leaves of this decoration. That was extremely annoying. So I took that out, put the anubias in the front. The anubias, I like it. You can see the root structure a little bit right there. It's still very new, but should grow in fairly nicely. The scape on this tank does not look very good at all, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it, and eventually it's going to get messed around with, but not right now. To summarize everything I did with the two tanks is I put this filter sponge on the end of the filter intake. You might be wondering, why the heck did you do that? It looks horrible, it stands out, it's huge, it takes up so much space. Well, there's a couple of reasons. It provides great biological filtration because it's a filter sponge. It has a lot of surface area on it where beneficial bacteria can grow and process toxins in the tank. On top of that, it can also trap large objects that get sucked towards the filter instead of getting sucked into the filter and possibly clogging one of the tubes and or the impeller, which would be very bad. It can also trap fish food on it, while with the old filter intake, it would have just sucked the food into the filter and it would have been gone. But with the sponge on, some fish can still go ahead and eat that food right off the end of the sponge. Finally, it cannot suck up fry. Like if a little guppy fry is just swimming on past and then suddenly it gets caught in the current of the filter, it won't get sucked up because it's on a sponge. But on the previous filter intake, it would get sucked up. It would die a very not so nice death. Thankfully, I have a remedy for that. All I did was just buy some filters. I actually got a replacement one for that filter right there. And I just took out the stuff in the middle, slid it on the bottom. That's all I had to do. I also got the API General Cure I talked about earlier. I got that because it's not that gourami. It's another gourami, might have intestinal worms. I'm not totally sold on it being intestinal worms. It might be a bacterial infection, it might be nothing, I really don't know. But it's always a good idea to have a little bit of medicine on hand, especially if you suspect that there is a disease possibly going around through your tank. Moving on to the second tank, I bought that anubias on a rock from PetSmart today. I like the way it looks, not a huge fan of the color, but it's fine. I will eventually move that into a much better spot, but I need to do a full rescaping of the tank first because I'm not a huge fan of how it looks right now. I want to clump up some of the wisteria so that I can grow in a more centralized area. I want to possibly remove that cardinal plant I have kind of on the left hand side right there. I'm not a fan of how it looks. It's kind of doing sickly, but I think it's growing, so I'll give it some more time. That should be all with that tank. Oh right, and then I I removed a decoration I had right there. It was just a tube that was modeled to look like driftwood. Yeah, I removed that. Didn't like it. I think I already talked a lot about why, though. That should be all for today. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, then hit the like button. If you want to see more of content like this, then go ahead and subscribe. I should be putting out much better, more high quality content in the future. In the near future, even more hopefully. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.